Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Wednesday, January 20th, 2021. Deutsche Welle report. Egypt and Qatar agree to end rift, renew diplomatic ties. Following recent Gulf summit efforts, on Wednesday Egypt and Qatar sent each other official notifications of their intent to resume diplomatic ties. A Saudi-led bloc of Arab countries had previously isolated Qatar for grievances including allegations that the government has backed regional militants. The countries agreed to resume diplomatic relations, Egypt's foreign ministry announced, echoing intimations last week by Qatar's government that it, too, desired normal relations as the nation prepares to host the Football World Cup in 2022.
Al Jazeera report. Joe Biden's inaugural address, full transcript. Joe Biden was sworn in as the 46th President of the United States just before noon EST 17:00 GMT on Wednesday and then delivered his inaugural address, asking Americans to put their differences aside amid the pandemic and deep political divisions. At this time in this place, let's start afresh. All of us must begin to listen to one another again, to hear one another, see one another, show respect to one another, Biden said.
Fox report. Connecticut man charged with assaulting an officer during U.S. Capitol breach. A Connecticut man who was captured using a police shield to pin a Washington, D.C. police officer against a doorway as rioters stormed the U.S. Capitol has been arrested, authorities said Wednesday. Patrick Edward Mackay, of Ridgefield, was taken into custody Tuesday night and charged with assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers or employees. Civil disorder. Entering a restricted building or grounds and violent entry or disorderly conduct.
Deutsche Welle report. Joe Biden sworn in as 46th President of the United States. Live updates. Later, they will participate in a wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery along with former Presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush and Bill Clinton. They will also be joined by former First Ladies Michelle Obama, Laura Bush, and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Due to the pandemic and security concerns, many of the Inauguration Day traditions will not be taking place as usual this year.
Al Jazeera report. Greek MPs approve extension of territorial waters in Ionian Sea. The Greek parliament has overwhelmingly approved legislation to extend the country's territorial waters along its western coastline from 6 to 12 nautical miles, a few days before long-estranged NATO allies Greece and Turkey resume exploratory talks over contested maritime claims in the Aegean Sea. In Wednesday's 284-0 vote, representatives of four opposition parties backed the center-right government, while members of the Greek Communist Party abstained.
CNN report. Read the letters outgoing presidents left for their successors in the Oval Office. Being President of the United States can be lonely and daunting, and only a few people alive know what it's like firsthand. One of the modern Inauguration Day traditions for presidents leaving office is to write their successors a letter offering best wishes and advice. This is usually left on the Resolute desk to read when the new president first enters the Oval Office. Sometimes the letter are humorous, like Ronald Reagan's pithy note to George H.
BBC report. Kamala Harris becomes first female, first black and first Asian American VP. She was sworn in just before Joe Biden took the oath of office to become the 46th U.S. president. Ms. Harris, who is of Indian-Jamaican heritage, initially ran for the Democratic nomination. But Mr. Biden won the race and chose Ms. Harris as his running mate, describing her as a fearless fighter for the little guy. Prior to taking the oath at the U.S. Capitol, Ms. Harris paid tribute to the women who she says came before her.
Al Jazeera report. Frustration in Europe, North America over Pfizer vaccine delays. Frustration is mounting from Europe to North America over reduced shipments of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine while the United States pharmaceutical company increases production capacity at its Belgian plant. Governments say it is costing critical time during the early stages of the rollout to care homes and hospital personnel. Italy has threatened legal action. The leader of Canada's most populous province said Pfizer's chief executive should be chased with a firecracker, and a top European Union official icily invoked the principle of pacta sunt servanda, a Latin phrase meaning, agreements must be kept.
CNN report. With Trump's exit, the Fox News presidency will come to an end. A version of this article first appeared in the Reliable Sources newsletter. You can sign up for free right here. 4 years ago, Fox News headed into the Trump presidency with an unprecedented opportunity. It was not only the primary source of news for the Republican Party, but also the primary source for President Trump himself. The network could have used the opportunity to act responsibly. It could have leveraged its contacts within Trump's inner circle and the GOP to double down on reporting and break some real news.
CNN report: Donald Trump's money faucet is getting turned off. A growing number of businesses suddenly want very little to do with Donald Trump after he incited a mob to attack the Capitol. That could make it more difficult for the Trump organization to do business after he leaves office. I think it's a huge problem for him, said Michael D'Antonio, a CNN contributor and a Trump biographer. He created toxicity for an important part of his market. I don't know if some will ever come back. Most brands try to avoid controversy. I feel like he's forced the hands of the companies that decided to disengage.
Fox report: China says Pompeo is doomsday clown following allegations of genocide in Xinjiang. China's foreign ministry described outgoing U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on Wednesday as a doomsday clown and said his designation of China as a perpetrator of genocide and crimes against humanity was merely a piece of wastepaper. The allegations of abuses against Muslim minority groups in China's Xinjiang region are outright sensational pseudo-propositions and a malicious farce concocted by individual anti-China and anti-communist forces represented by Pompeo, spokesperson Hua Chunying told reporters at a daily briefing.
CNN report: Joe Biden's proposed stimulus checks are a lousy way to fix the economy. The most expensive provision in Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion economic recovery plan is his proposal to send an additional $1,400 to most Americans. According to many economists, that's the least effective way to help revive the economy. The added stimulus is born out of widespread support among congressional Democrats, and many Republicans, including outgoing President Donald Trump, to increase the direct payments from the most recent COVID-19 economic relief package from $600 to $2,000.
Deutsche Welle report: EU officials are cautiously optimistic about post-Trump U.S. There is no doubt that EU's expectations for incoming U.S. President Joe Biden are enormous. The bloc is torn between the hope that the transatlantic relationship will be restored and relations with the U.S. will normalize, and a growing realization of the obstacles that stand in their way. French Minister for Europe Clement Beaune is certain that there will not be a sea change given the divided country that the new administration inherits.
Fox report: Good Samaritan whose van filled with food for needy was stolen has a message for perpetrators. A Michigan man who runs a mobile ministry aimed at helping the less fortunate is urging the individuals who allegedly carjacked his van during a beating he suffered early Tuesday to repent, give yourself to Jesus and start a new life. Derek Hill, a 51-year-old from St. Clair Shores, told Fox News he was driving in Roseville to pick up a late-night snack when he spotted a vehicle on the side of the road that appeared to be overheating.
BBC report: South Africa, Dr. Death Row. Clinics defend Bisson's right to practice. Mediclinic said it could not stop Wouter Bisson from practicing as he was a registered doctor. The cardiologist headed an apartheid-era secret germ warfare program. He has faced down numerous legal challenges over his work to produce drugs and agents to target anti-apartheid activists. The 70-year-old's defense has been that he acted under orders of the South African Defence Force (SADF). The state has been paying all his legal fees over the years as he was a government employee at the time he ran Project Coast in the 1980s.
Fox report: Madrid blast kills 2, destroys building, cause linked to gas leak, mayor says. Madrid. A loud explosion apparently caused by a gas leak has partially destroyed a residential building in the center of Spain's capital on Wednesday, killing 2 people and injuring at least 2 more, according to officials. The first images and footage shared on social media showed a tower of smoke coming out from the 6-story building and rubble scattered in Toledo Street, near the city center.
BBC report: Tunisia youths warned over riots amid COVID curfew. More than 600 people, mainly between the ages of 14 and 15, have already been arrested after police clashes. Prime Minister Hichem Mekichi acknowledged their anger about a range of economic and social hardships. The crisis is real. But we reject chaos and will confront that with the power of the law. In a televised speech, Mr. Mekichi appealed to the protesters to stop the looting and the vandalism. Your voices are heard. Your anger is legitimate, and my role and the government's role is to work on realizing your demands.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.